Okay, I'm going to talk about the current events that's going on in the news. So we have a hijacker on a plane that's 33 years old. I guess he stabbed the pilot or the flight attendant in the neck 3 times. Mohammed Atta on 9/11, he hijacked the plane and flew into the World Trade Center, and he was 33 years old. So we have another reference again to 9/11. We also have in the news 2 planes that crashed, collided with each other. So once again, they keep doing this since the beginning of the year with the FFA glitch. Since then, they've been doing this over and over, saying that there's planes colliding or about to collide. There's been way more of them than usual right now. So what's the chances we have a 33-year-old hijacker in the news at the same time that 2 planes crashed? So here's the hockey team, Seattle Krakens. And this shows, this is the hockey team, the Seattle Krakens. And they use the Kraken as their name, and they use as their mascot. And you can see the Space Needle. It looks like the Kraken is coming out of the water and getting the Space Needle. The Climate Pledge Arena. You can see they have the 33 on the end of there as the E's. This is the Seattle Kraken's logos. You can see they use like a tentacle with the eye of the Kraken. Then they also use the Space Needle that's like an anchor, symbolizing that it's going to sink into the water and be submerged. And they always show the Kraken symbol, S symbol, around the Space Needle, like it's grabbing the Space Needle down. This is the Seattle Surge, and they are a team that plays video games. Like they're a major league gamer or whatever. So they have also a team for the video games that seems to be using the same kind of symbology as the Seattle Kraken. And if you look at it, it looks like a trident. So you got like a trident, almost looks like a 3. And then also the Space Needle could be like the Space Needle here, and tentacles coming up to grab it. And then also you see it has eyes here, so it's like the Kraken. And it also looks like a crown. And their name is the Seattle Surge. And they play this game called Call of Duty that's very popular. And all the games media are controlled, just like the movies. So they have the predictive programming in all of these games. And especially the most popular games that come out like these, they have like their agenda tied in with the storylines. And these people play this game, the Seattle Surge. And the Call of Duty have used predictive programming in their logos, making their logos look like a 311 right before the coronavirus pandemic. And during it, they would have their logo look like a 311 or a 113. And as you can see here, they have it looking like a twin towers. Look at the twin towers there in between. And then on the outsides, it makes a 33. And this is all about war and fighting China and fighting Russia, and we're the good guys and they're the bad guys. And, you know, the same old thing that we've seen everything else, the movies and everything else. You can see here they use their modern warfare is the 33. Okay, and this is the Battlefield franchise, which is basically the same thing as Call of Duty. It's just a different franchise. So in this game, which is called 2042, by the way, Battlefield 2042, and it's about in 2040, a space debris storm causes a Kessler effect to occur, where most of the satellites orbiting Earth cease to function and crash into the planet. A global blackout takes place, plunging the world into chaos as communication grids are destroyed and supply lines halt. The United States of America and the Russian Federation, the only two remaining superpower states, blame each other for their catastrophe. So this is exactly what their predictive programming and other things are showing. That something like this is going to happen, this Kessler effect, which is what this is just adding more to it. But what's the odds that the thing's called 2042? And one of the main things that they were showing their predictive programming with this event is the Starlink satellites, which had 42,000 of them put up into orbit supposedly. So what's the odds that we have this game that's at about this same event that they're talking about? They're worried about the 42,000 satellites from Elon Musk, and they have the games called 2042, and this event happens. So this is something I would be looking out for in the future, is this Kessler effect. Why are they teaching us this over and over in all the media? This is The Last of Us Part 2, the video game. And this is concept art from the creators. They have the Space Needle right out for you to see. Like they want you to see it all messed up for some reason. And this is what the season 2 of the show that everybody's going to be watching will be about. Here's more. You can see it's so flooded in the Seattle. This area would normally not be flooded. And you have to be in a boat to go around the city of Seattle. And actually the Seattle is now an island in this storyline. And they're actually fighting over this island with a group of other people called the Washington Liberation Front. Here's more flooded scenery with the Space Needle in it. The Space Needle is flooded according to the game lore. You cannot get to the Space Needle, it's flooded. You can see the Space Needle, they have it, the main subject matter in this concept art, and it shows people actually on the Space Needle rebuilding it or reclaiming it. Seems like they're like trying to rebuild it somewhat to reuse it. And this might be that Washington Liberation Front. Groups or factions are fighting over it, which kind of reminds me of 2020 when we had the areas where the police couldn't get in Washington. An article about The Last of Us Season 2 that's going to be coming out that everybody's watching right now, and they're going to be wanting to see Season 2 really bad soon. And at the top of this article, you can see they're talking about Pedro Pascal, who plays as Joel in the show. And he's got the PP initials, 1616. And they tell you that it took 33 months to make the first season. So it might take 33 months for the next season to come out. And then they go into what the storyline's going to be about Season 2, which is going to be about them going to Seattle. And it happens after this character hit this character Joel in the head, Pedro Pascal, with a golf club. And I think it's kind of strange that he's got the PP and he gets hit in the head with a golf club. So I'm wondering if it's possible that Trump can get hit with a golf club instead of a firearm. If Trump got hit in the head with a golf club on his golf course, then it would be easier for them to stage instead of like a public gunshot. But I don't know. Either way, it seems strange to me that you have the PP initials and he gets hit in the head with a golf club. And the other part of this storyline is that Seattle's bombed and flooded. There was also a remake of the very first game that just came out, and it came out on March the 3rd. At the same time, the series that took 33 months